Happy St. Nicholas Day, Shawn. We've got some snow and interesting weather for you to watch.
We got all kinds of wild stuff going on, Stacy and Dion. Hey there. Nice view of Mount Cato here from our camera on the tower at the station. And it was a good day for Mount Cato, opening day today. And good day for it. We had a little snow, about a half-inch to an inch across parts of southern Minnesota. It is 30 degrees, and because it was so warm, we actually had a little freezing drizzle mix in at times, and that has made roads and sidewalks a little slick. So give yourself a little extra time if you have to be doing any traveling. We have another clipper that's going to come through. That's going to bring in more cold as we head into the weekend. Our high by Sunday, only 5 degrees. So get ready. So let's talk a little bit about all of these systems. First one tomorrow, and that for now is the most significant one that's on the radar. 2 to 4 inches with more to the south and west. Sunday night into Monday. That one focused mostly east of us and actually into Wisconsin and maybe a little northern Minnesota. Just a dusting, if that. Monday night into Tuesday, less than an inch. More to the northeast, maybe an inch toward the Twin Cities. Our next, I think, impactful event could be this one, Tuesday night into Wednesday. And the reason it could be an issue is because there could be some freezing rain ahead of some measurable snow. And then it looks like we may be in for another one by Thursday into late next week. So we have a lot to talk about. We're making up for lost time with the last couple of years with the limited snowfall. Here's the winter weather advisory in effect from tomorrow, late morning through the afternoon into tomorrow night. Winter storm warning where snow amounts are going to be a little heavier. Here's the snow forecast. The blue 2 to 4, that's where we are right along the Minnesota River. Mankato, North Mankato. Get a little further down into that purple 3 to 6, 4 to 7. In that pinkish area, there's going to be, and it's not going to be a lot of folks that get that much. There's going to be a really narrow little band in there where we see maybe that 5, 6 or more inch snowfall. Not a lot of folks will get that, but there will be a few. All right, watch how this comes in. It's going to come in a hurry. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., still not much going on, but you can see everything developing by mid-morning on Saturday, moving into far western Minnesota, Pipestone area, Ivanhoe area by about 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and then very quickly pushing eastward. Mankato, late morning, some light snow. But I think our heaviest snowfall here, especially in southern Minnesota, going to be probably 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow. Here we are at 2 p.m. Let's take you to 4 o'clock. You see those darker blues there? That's when we're going to start to see some of that heavier snow kicking through. 6 o'clock, and then by 8, 9, 10 o'clock, everything's going to bail out of here. And as I mentioned earlier, the good news here, it's not going to be terribly windy, maybe 10 to 20. There could be a couple spots further west where we have some gusts up to 25. So this is not going to be a big major whopping blizzard or anything like that, but you're still going to want to allow extra time for travel. All right, let's talk about the next few rounds. Sunday into Monday, not a big deal for Mankato, but we could get a dusting here up to the Twin Cities. Monday into Tuesday, less than an inch. Maybe an inch-ish toward the Twin Cities, Rochester, the Mississippi River area. And then it's way too early for amounts with this one, but late Tuesday night into Wednesday, some freezing rain and measurable snow possible. This is impact, and a good chunk of Minnesota will have some, I think, pretty good travel impacts with that system Tuesday night, Wednesday of next week. And then there's still another one that's going to come rolling in on Thursday. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, 16. Tomorrow, we may catch a little sun first thing in the morning, and then snow develops late morning into the afternoon with heavier snow late afternoon into the evening. 2 to 4 Mankato, heavier to the south. Sunday will be cold, 5. Some night flurries on Sunday, some light snow into Monday morning, and then again Monday night into Tuesday. Freezing rain and snow late Tuesday, Tuesday night with snow Wednesday, and then another shot at snow Thursday. After that, just really cold. That's what's going on. Keep your First Alert app handy. We'll be back right after this.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Northern Comfort, celebrating 50 years.